Good day, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Church of the Holy Point Spread, known as gamblersWORLD.net, where you find 13 of the finest handicappers in the country, posting games for you each and every day, primary plays, and free pick winners. I am your host, Chip Chirimbes. My special panelist today for our college edition is Paul Bovi. Paulie, welcome aboard, buddy.
Hey, good to see you, Chip. Happy to be here.
Well, we had some major upsets in college football this week. I mean, whoever thought Northern Illinois would win outright? I mean, there were a number of sharp people that took them plus the points, but the Huskies end up defeating the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, that's a shocker. A MAC team defeating Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was off a big game where they defeated Texas A&M, and they just came in soft, took them lightly, and
Yeah.
terrible thing happened to the Fighting Irish. And now they're going to be all out to get in this playoff, but it's Notre Dame, and they'll probably find a way to get there.
Paulie, you're a MAC guy for the most part. I think you had told me you really like to concentrate on that conference. Were you involved with Northern Illinois?
Uh, I wasn't, and I'm kicking myself now. Obviously, I just thought there was a huge talent disparity, and Notre Dame would have been able to uh, basically name the score. And you could see from the outset that they just, as I said, they came in light. This often
Yeah.
happens. College football is a game of emotion. There's peaks, there's valleys, and Notre Dame went from peak to valley, and they paid the price.
And Northern Illinois outgained them not only passing but rushing as well. They really were the dominant team and the better team that day, without question. It was not a fluke that they won that game. I wonder how they're going to respond now the rest of the season, because sometimes you get on a euphoric run and it's difficult to reach the same type of to get to that pinnacle again, shall I say. College football is going to be very interesting this year. There's 12 teams making the playoffs, so Alabama, who is I think a bit underrated, probably going to get in there. And now Notre Dame isn't dead yet; so they still have a chance to make a comeback here. By the way, this is our college edition. It's Paul Bovi and Chip Chirimbes, and just give us a like. You'll be able to get college information from us each and every week right here at gamblersnet.com. Excuse me, it's gamblersworld.net. Paulie, we have a game in the ACC that you're interested in, and this might have been a great basketball matchup years ago, but Maryland's traveling to Virginia, and how do you see this one working out?
All right, so I'm going to throw this one out there. I played it already, and I do like Virginia in a major revenge spot. The Terps blew them out last year, 42-14, but it was on the strength of a 21-point fourth quarter. They shut them out, so they pulled away late, but it was a 4-0 turnover disparity for the Virginia Cavaliers. Now, they bring back their quarterback, Calandria, who threw 3 interceptions in that game and was largely responsible for the loss. But they returned 8 starters on each side. Maryland only 4 on the offensive side, 8 on the defensive side. And what I saw from Maryland last week is a quarterback from Virginia Tech who basically had no playing, not from Virginia Tech, but from Michigan State, who basically had no playing experience prior to this year. He went 26 to 39 for 339 yards, also threw several picks. But what's concerning about that is that against FAU, he only threw for 114 yards. So their pass defense was predicted to take a tumble. Maryland's was, and that showed up in the first game. And I just think this Virginia quarterback is a seasoned guy, and he will have success against this secondary. And Virginia, as a 3-point dog, will pull the outright upset and win comfortably.
Maryland opened the season with a 50-7 win over Connecticut. Last week, it was actually they get upended by Michigan State, like I said, 27-24 and a half point, 8.5 point favorite. I was kind of surprised at that outcome because I really didn't think the Spartans had it in them, and they come up with a win there. I didn't get involved in the game, but here we're talking about 61 and 57 points in the two games. The total on this one's 57 and a half. Virginia beat Richmond, and last week they're losing 21-0, Paulie, going into the fourth period, and scored 3 touchdowns and defeat Wake Forest 31-30. I think there's going to be a high-scoring affair. I can see both teams putting up a lot of points, and it's the way I think it's going here. I mean, Virginia scored 34 and 30. I mean, 27 and 50 for Maryland. The Terrapins. I think the game goes over the total myself. So we'll have to see. We'll wait and see. One thing about the college game and different conferences, when they get mixed up against each other, at times one is so heavily regarded compared to another. Say we can refer to the MAC, but that the points sometimes do not equal the actual talent level between the two teams. And I'm going to go to the SEC right now, where LSU is traveling to South Carolina, Paulie. And LSU, of course, got upset by USC in a game where they were held to 69 yards rushing on 23 attempts. They had 10 penalties in that game, Paulie, and they had 7 last week against Nicholas State, though they really ran roughshod over them. South Carolina, they pull a big upset over Kentucky, 31-6. Paulie, what do you think of the margin of victory with the Gamecocks over Kentucky in that game?
It was impressive, but what was not impressive in that game against USC was LSU's defense, because they
Right.
got basically carved up by the quarterback. So I'm not sure where you're going with this game. I have a minor opinion on it. My minor opinion would be to take South Carolina. But of course, my opinion really doesn't resonate here because you have a stronger play, and I'm going to respect yours.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. 79 yards rushing for Carolina last week, South Carolina. And Kentucky had 11 penalties. And it's hard to win when you're committing 11 penalties. And they had, Paulie, 6 of 17, only 44 yards passing. So I think LSU is going to do a little better than that on offense. I really do. They're 6-0 in the last 6 meetings against the Gamecocks. I just think LSU is going to come together here, seeing them as a 7-point favorite on the road after the way Carolina upset Kentucky, and LSU seems to have had their struggles. I think that's a huge number to lay, and I think it's very inviting to take South Carolina in this game. So total's 48.5. But and my thoughts are to take LSU in this game and to lay the points. Uh, so it's just it just seems odd to me that Carolina, after winning that game, to be a 7-point dog at home.
I agree with you, but I think LSU gets they have pedigree and they get a lot of respect. So people are giving them a pass. I
Yeah.
can't give them a pass. So that's just, in my opinion, just far too much. And I would just side with the points. Like I said, I understand your way of thinking on this. Like,
Yeah.
why is LSU a 7-point favorite after South Carolina looked, at least on the scoreboard, so
Right.
good? I just can't put LSU's performance in game one past me. So I would lean to take the points, but I
Sure.
really didn't dial in. Uh, I really didn't dial into the game like you did. So I'm going to defer to you and
Okay.
say that you're the one that's probably going to be right.
All right. I want everyone out there to remember this is our college edition. It's Paul Bovi and myself, Chip Chirimbes. And give us a like, and you'll get more of these free plays from us each and every week. Paulie, overall, when you look at the college field out there, are there any long shots you think are that have a shot? Texas, of course, has been raised up to number 2. Ohio State's at number 3. And it looks like those top 3, including if you throw in Alabama, are really the ones we're going to have to contend with.
Off the top of my head, no. I'm more a game guy, so I'm looking at the card
Right.
this week, and I really, really like weeks 3 and 4, because a lot of times teams look a lot better on the scoreboard than they actually are, and it has to do with the competition that they're taking on,
Right.
breaks that have went their way. So I think if you look at those particular aspects in terms of handicapping, you can find the value. And that's why I gravitated to Virginia. Yeah, of course, Maryland wins that first game 50-7, but they played UConn. And UConn, to me, this year, I have to throw the game out. So that's why I came up with Virginia. And I came up with, I think I have 4 or 5 games that qualify right now. And I'm probably going to have a decent card this Saturday.
That's great. We're all at gamblersworld.net. Once again, you get our premier plays there. You can give us a like right here and be able to check in on all our free plays each and every week. And, Paulie, this college season is always so exciting, and it's more difficult when you don't have a sample size. And we need that in college. Like you said, weeks 3 and 4, because the transition and the changes each and every year. Teams can be totally different. Who expects Kentucky after the way they played the last couple of seasons to come up with only 7 points against Carolina last week? So, regardless, you have posted Virginia as a play, and probably I can see them winning the game outright myself. And they are a 3-point dog to Maryland. And Maryland, of course, I don't know how they blew that game to Michigan State last week, but they come up favorites here against Virginia. Anyway, Paulie, I thank you once again. Chip Chirimbes and Paul Bovi, once again, our college preview for the weekend of September 14th. So log on, click the likes, and let us know that you'll be watching us each and every week. So once again, we'll catch you next week.